welcome back to my channel. I decided that if you've been keeping up with me lately, there has been so many life changes for me and for my household. Just in summary, I quit my job, I started a new job. Brook quit his job, Brook started a new job, we adopted a dog. So we're both working from home, full-time, freelance. I'm starting a loungewear line, just a lot of things are happening. So I wanted to take this opportunity to do another Q&A, kind of just honestly answering all your questions about all of our life changes and all of our life updates, because there's a lot. And I'm so excited about all of them. Let's go ahead and get on into it. Also, I just want to say that I already filmed pretty in advance. I already filmed 2 weeks in advance, but for my birthday week, my parents are coming into town for the first half, and then the second half is my actual birthday. So I'm trying to get ahead enough to take off from filming that week, just in case, because I don't think I'll really have time and I want to enjoy it. So the day that I am answering all these questions is February 26th, just because I don't yet know when this video is coming out, and at the rate that things are changing right now, who knows what other life updates will be happening, especially in regards to Janse the label, because by the time this video comes out, we're probably really close to the launch of it. There's probably a lot of things different about that then, because we're still figuring a lot of things out, but I'll tell you all the answers that I know thus far that you asked about it. Also, at the date of the filming of this video, my vlog hasn't come out yet where I'm talking about my new social media jobs that I'm taking on. So there's a lot of questions about that. And if you haven't watched it, I am taking on a couple additional profiles. So I will be managing for 5 different companies now on top of doing this full time. And that is basically where all of my income comes from, besides the random acting jobs that I book, but that is very inconsistent, so I don't even count that. Here's a good one. So it says, which of the changes makes you the most nervous? I haven't really even thought about this. So I guess I should start by saying that I'm a person that thrives in change. I love change. It's actually probably a character flaw. It's funny too, because right before all these changes, I was like, there hasn't been really a big life change since we moved into this place, which was only like 5 months prior, not even that long ago. And I was like, dang, I need to switch something up, just because I love change. I would say most nervous would probably just be the financial aspect of it. It is a little bit scary to not only go through a pay cut, but for basically all of my income to be unknown, because anything could happen to YouTube. It's proven to be steady for about the last year for me, but anything could happen. Like the whole website could just be deleted, who knows? And so that is scary for me. So that's why I decided to take on those social media jobs to have some steady income. And that's also why I'm starting Janse the label, because I want to try to almost like diversify my portfolio, if you want to use big terms, so that if one thing were to just crash and burn, I would still have other things going on so that I wouldn't crash and burn. So I've always wanted to start a loungewear line, and I figured I know nothing about clothing lines, but we would just figure it out because it could be something fun. This is also a good one. Phrasing's a little funny, but if you were to become a famous actress, would you stop making YouTube videos? I'm gonna rephrase that as, if I were to make a steady career in acting and like book a series regular or book a large feature lead to where I knew that other roles would come, no. I don't think I would stop. It's funny how much I have fallen in love with making YouTube videos. I was convinced years ago that my only passion in life would be acting, that I wouldn't find anything else. And now YouTube and acting is neck and neck. Honestly, some days too. I feel kind of bad admitting this, but when there's a day that I have set aside to film a specific video that I want to film and an audition pops up, sometimes I get a little bummed and I feel bad saying that, but I don't know what that means about what my favorite thing is to do. But obviously I love acting so much and the process of it so much. I think the only thing that does annoy me is the last minuteness of it, how it's so out of your control and how constant the rejection is. Like, I've just learned to never really have acting as like my end goal, because I've learned over the last, gosh, how long have I been represented in acting professionally? 14, 15 years that it's not something you can really count on, but it's something fun to pursue in addition to other things. And that's been my mentality. So I don't think I'll ever just rely just on acting for that reason, but also because I do genuinely love doing this so much. So a lot of people, I have seen this question probably 20 times, wanted to know how has it been with both Brooke and I working from home each day? Has it been a big adjustment? Have we been distracted? Have we been getting our work done? Blah, blah, blah. I will say this is only the 3rd day of it, so it's still very, very new, but obviously I'm getting my work done right now. I'm actually more ahead on work this week than I have been ever. I do think it's because it's now Wednesday and I haven't had an audition yet this week, so I've been able to focus purely on my work, which is nice. But it is Wednesday and I'm already filming my 4th video for this week. So I'm pretty on top of things, pretty ahead of things. I think we have a good general understanding of when it's work time, it's work time. And I will say that we are both, I'm definitely more of the type A personality in regards to making sure the house is clean and being on time to places. But when it comes to work, I would say we're pretty equally type A. We're both very motivated people. So nothing will really get in the way of that, which is nice. And in addition to that, we have spaces outside of the home that we could go if we needed to focus even more so. He has an office in South Pasadena, so he could go there and work if he ever needed to. I have plenty of coffee shops around. We actually have like a communal working space kind of in our apartment. And I'm in the process of looking into getting a desk at a co-working office as well. And I hope that works out because that'd be really fun. It's walking distance and it's dog friendly. This is a good one. What are your goals for the new brand, Janse the Label? She wrote James the Label, but I think she means Janse the Label. I am very realistic, so my goals aren't too terribly high because I know it's gonna take a long time to build up. Even just releasing the first 2 products has been months and months of work. Because I'm so particular and because I won't settle for anything less than the best quality and the best standard. But I would say my tangible goal within the next year or so would be to build up enough revenue to be able to do cut and sew patterns. So what that means is right now we are basically outsourcing from other companies, having them create products for us and then embellishing them on top of that. So what I can have control over is a little more limited, like sizing, for instance. Like they can only make the sizes that they have. But eventually, that would be so much more work. I would like to have essentially a designer that designs exactly what I have in my mind, and then we have someone actually produce that. Like it sounds, cut and sew. It's where they cut out the fabric, they sew it together. So like completely from scratch instead of like taking all these little pieces of things that already exist and piecing it all together into a vision. So I would like to do that for multiple reasons because I could have complete control over every detail. It would be more size inclusive. It would just be the overall best scenario, but it does take a while to work up to that. And I also want people to know that for when they have questions or concerns about what I'm releasing right now is like I'm doing the most that I can with the budget I have. I have already put thousands of dollars into the first couple products, so I'm doing what I can. So I would like to build up enough revenue to like really expand things and make things the way I want. So that's my tangible goal. That's my like 1 year goal. Someone said, how was the last day at the restaurant? It was honestly very emotional. I think I held on to that job for longer than I should have, mostly because I really do love my coworkers and my managers. The people I worked with there are the best people. Restaurant environments can be really toxic and honestly, it can attract some rough people. You've seen, I'm sure, plenty of documentaries talking about the drug usage in restaurant culture and all that type of things, but this restaurant had hired the best people. Everybody there were people that I genuinely like wanted to be friends with. So telling them bye was really hard, but really sweet. My manager brought me a pie and they all came out and sang happy last day to you. Like it was my birthday. They even lit a candle. It was very sweet. Even one of the chefs started to tear up. It was so sweet, so sad. But luckily, all the people that work in my restaurant obviously live near me, so even just today I'm going thrifting with one of my co-working friends, so I don't have to feel sad about telling them goodbye because I'm just telling them goodbye from work, but not from my life. This is an interesting question because someone asked, do I ever feel lonely working from home? And up to this point, I haven't felt lonely, especially now that Brooke is here too and that we have a dog here. But I will say that I didn't really feel lonely because my schedule was I would work from home all day, but then I would go into the restaurant and be with friends for like 6 hours out of the day, which was a long time. So now that I don't have that, I'm trying to be very intentional about community. So like the Bible study that we're leading and trying to actually make plans with friends and fit that into my schedule because I don't want to lose sight of community amongst work life. So it's cool now too that instead of my community just being built into my schedule through working another job, that now I get to like almost curate it, like invite specific friends to do specific things. So that is cool. So that's something I'm working on and being intentional about. A lot of people have asked me, isn't your home too small to both work from home? And I've had that asked quite a few times in quite a few different ways, and I think that's a weird question because I could see how working in our last studio would be hard since I film, but having a wall, that's all you need, and I don't see our home as small at all. For LA, 800 square feet, it's pretty good. I know for the rest of the world that's pretty small, except for New York. I don't see that as an issue at all. My dream, I have always wanted a tiny home, so I would be totally happy living in 200-300 square feet. So that's my point of view. Also, I got a question that I don't really like, so I want to address it because I have gotten this question a few times and it kind of, I don't know, I just want to address it. This person said, do you get on your husband's nerves filming always? Seems like he gets annoyed easily. And the reason I want to address that, I get very defensive whenever anything is assumed about one of my loved ones. You can assume whatever you want about me, I don't care, but don't assume things about my loved one. He is always a little bit shy and reserved, and I don't want people to read that as annoyance at all because he rarely gets annoyed. He is so understanding. He is so supportive. He understands that this is my job. This in particular, if we take all of our incomes, is the thing making us the most money right now. Granted, the fact we have so many little jobs that we piece together to make our income, but he realizes that and he supports that, and just because he doesn't feel the need to be as outgoing as me on camera doesn't mean that he's annoyed, and I want people to understand that. And I'm glad that a lot of people have been able to get to see more of him and his personality on camera. He is so fun and so goofy, but he also doesn't feel the need to be a people pleaser like me. And I think it's so refreshing that he's like, this is me, take me or leave me. I'm not gonna go out of my way to be like, type of thing. And that's one thing that I really love about him, but he does not get annoyed. And I don't know why I feel the need to just clarify that, but I get that comment a lot on videos and I just delete it because I'm like, I wanna say something back, but sometimes it's better just to delete it than say things back. So this is me addressing that. He's the most supportive, kind, loving husband ever, and I love him so much. Here's a good one. Does getting rejected for auditions mess with your head? It totally could. It totally could. If you go in with the expectation of like, this is me, like I'm showing them me, then the rejection will hurt. But I go in with the expectation that they are seeing hundreds of people and the likelihood that I'm gonna fit into this role despite my talent, just my height or my ethnicity or the way I look, the way I sound. Any of those reasons just might not be what they're going for the character. I don't take anything personally, and because of that, I'm pretty good at detaching myself. I would say the only thing that does mess with me mentally and emotionally is the stress of the last minuteness of it. A lot of times there will be a script that you'll get the day before and it's like, okay, learn this by tomorrow. And you have seen, if you saw my like what a work day looks like for me video, that I already try to fit in so much that I'm like, where am I gonna find an hour to learn this script by tomorrow? That is impossible. So I would say that's the only thing that has an effect on my mental or emotional state, is just the stress of like trying to fit that in. But the actual rejection, it doesn't really bother me. I would say I'm a pretty strong person when it comes to rejection, which is funny because I am such a people pleaser, but I think just growing up in acting and now just putting myself out to the internet, I know that it's not personal. Even the mean personal comments I get about me, I'm like, there's a lot going on in that person's world, and people forget that people on the internet are real. So I take rejection and negativity to myself pretty well. As you can see though, my loved ones, I stand up for them because they don't choose to be in this world. They are put in this world because of me, and so I feel responsibility for that. I like this. This says, what has the Lord been saying to you amongst all these changes? And there's been this one sentence that's just been ringing in my head over and over and over. I don't know if it's from the Lord, to be honest. I don't know if it's just in my head, but I do think I want to try to incorporate this onto something in Janse the Label soon, whether that be like stitched onto something or whatever, but why not now? Why not now? That's literally always been in my head, is why not now? Why not now? Like even just with Janse the Label, I said, I don't think I'm gonna really start it until maybe I have a reach of 100,000 people, because then the logistic would make more sense, blah, 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 blah. But then I said, why not now? Why not? Like, what are the reasons? If I fail, so what? I tried. Or if it's small, so what? It can grow, but why delay things until tomorrow when you can do them today? And amongst all these changes, that's kind of been everything. Is like with quitting my serving job, I said, why not now? I can make it work. With Brook following his dreams. We said, why not now? With getting a dog, we said, why not now? How are we more qualified tomorrow than we are today? That has been something that's been really cool to learn and to see, that just jumping into something, it can work out. And even if it doesn't, there's still good that comes from it. You can learn things, you can grow, it can grow. So that's one thing that I think the Lord has been showing me. And looking back in my life, all of my biggest life regrets have been not doing things sooner. Like moving to LA, staying in Texas for a boy. I wish I had said, why not now? And just moved to LA instead of staying in a bad relationship. Or one of my biggest regrets is when I was in high school, I filmed my first YouTube video. It was so good too. I used my dad's very professional camera. It was so good. And then I just didn't post it. I could have had four-ish years under my belt in the YouTube world, and who knows where I would be now as far as my career goes. So all of my biggest regrets in life have been for waiting. So I'm glad that I'm embracing the why not now mentality. This is sweet. Someone said, no question, I'm just so happy that you and Brook get to spend more time together now. Me too. Even if it's just passing, like, even just this morning, I went to my workout class as usual. We've been working in our own rooms as usual, but we ate our oatmeal together and that was nice. Someone said, how's Potato? Is he a good pet for a small apartment? He's great. He's thriving. He's living. He is a great pet for a small apartment. I will say that turtles grow to the size of their environment, and we got the largest tank that is allowed as far as our lease goes. I think it's like a 50-gallon. That doesn't sound right. Whatever. We just got whatever the largest size is allowed. And I feel like he's grown more to like the size of that. So we're kind of like, buddy, you can't grow any bigger because like if we get a bigger tank, we could get in big trouble. So I would say that's the only thing, but he does seem to like kind of have stopped growing. So he's good in that regard, but he's so easy. He's so chill. Potato's great. Turtles are great. Here's a good one. It says, what is Brook's favorite drink of choice? You know what? I'm gonna go ask him right now because that's the perk to us working together. I'll find out for you. I phrased it as, if you could only drink one thing for the rest of your life that wasn't water, what would it be? And he froze. He said, I don't know. And I said, okay, if I go to the store right now and get you something, what would you want? He said, a Coke. And I said, okay, so your answer's Coke. That's his answer. So a lot of people are asking what his new job is, and I did a video talking about it, but if you haven't seen it, he's working for a company called Dodgers Nation, official Dodger Nation on Instagram, and he is their senior editor. So he basically is in charge of writing articles about every breaking news in baseball ever and tweeting about it. And then they also have a podcast that's called Blue Heaven Podcast, and it has a live stream and it has a podcast. And so he's in charge of like writing that and being on that, amongst other little things. You know, like press stuff too. He goes to press events. Like he was just at spring training, all that jazz. Someone said, how much is rent for our LA apartment? It's about $2,400 a month. There's also little fees on top of that though, like $25 per car. Now pet rent is $65 a month on top of that, which is, I thought it was $50. I don't know why 65 sounds like so much more than 50. Here's a good one. Someone said, how much do I make monthly between all of my jobs? So it fluctuates quite a bit. On the lower end, I would say, dang, this is crazy because I definitely don't keep this much, but personally, I make around $7,000 a month, but I really only take home about $3,000 to $4,000 a month from that because all of my stuff is pre-taxed. So I have to set aside 35% in taxes, and then also I pull out quite a bit for our retirement funds and tithe and all of that. So it's crazy how that much money goes to that little money. So I would say I take home about $3,000 to $4,000 a month, give or take, but before taxes and everything, it's around 7. Here's some real numbers for you. Is that too vulnerable? Maybe. I like this one too. How did you each support each other in your career changes? What discussions did you have? Brook was kind of like, he told me after the fact, he was like, if I saw any sort of hesitation from you, I was just gonna be like, it's not worth it. Like, stability is most important. I have to supply for my family. Why doesn't that sound right to me? He has to earn his fair share type of thing, but I immediately was like, no, your dreams are most important. Like, we will figure it out. So I think just encouraging each other that it doesn't all boil down to money is really, really cool and really, really good. And especially now before kids, we don't really have anything depending on us. Now we have Max and Potato, but as long as we could pay rent and buy groceries, like that's what's most important. And like, we're gonna have some great months where I bring in a lot. We're gonna have some bad months where I don't bring in very much. So I think just knowing that it's not all about money, and we also, I will say, have a good emergency fund saved up. So realistically talking through that and being like, if we both earn $0, we could live for probably 8 to 10 months and be okay. So building that up and having that is important, and I would say was the big thing to talk about in our career changes. I'm gonna end on a juicy one. One final question. Who is more sensitive, me or Brooke? Definitely me. It's funny because I am definitely more like reserved. Like if I have an issue, it'll take me a lot longer to find the words that I want to vocalize it, whereas he is more comfortable being like, hey, this bothers me and this is why, which I admire so much because it cuts down on the tension and the drama 100%. But I am just non-confrontational at all, and I will say that makes me sensitive. I'm sensitive. If someone confronts me, I'm automatically like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I get sad, which is not the healthy way to go about things. I need to be like, you know what? You're right. Or I respectfully disagree and this is why. So yeah, it's definitely me. I'm definitely the more sensitive one, but that probably wasn't a big surprise to you. I love doing these types of videos so much because there's always such good questions. There's some juicy ones in here. I wish I could answer every single one, but this video is already so long. I just love getting to chat with y'all and get to know you better. So thank you as always for hanging out with me and for supporting me and for watching me. It means so much. I love you with my whole heart. I hope you have the best rest of your day, and I'll see you in a video very soon. Bye.